Some men never need an enemy to bring them down. They collapse under their own weight, undone not by others, but by their own words. It doesn't happen suddenly. It happens quietly. A single phrase repeated until it becomes identity. A casual excuse that over time erodes dignity, discipline, and authority. What you say out loud, you eventually believe. And what you believe, you inevitably become. The Stoics understood this. Marcus Aurelius wrote that the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Seneca warned that speech is the mirror of the mind. And Epictetus, born in chains, taught that if you let your tongue grow careless, your soul will follow. Words are not harmless noise. They are the blueprint of your destiny. Today we're going to expose 10 phrases that reveal weakness, surrender, or decay. 10 sentences men repeat as if they were strength, but in reality they are poison. And more importantly, we'll uncover what a Stoic man says instead. Because your words are either sharpening your inner citadel or burning it down brick by brick. The first phrase, "That's just who I am." On the surface, it sounds firm, it sounds definitive. But underneath, it is pure surrender. Men who repeat this phrase confuse stagnation with strength. They plant their feet in the same spot year after year, mistaking immobility for integrity. But the truth is, it is cowardice, a refusal to change disguised as conviction. Seneca warned, "As long as you live, keep learning how to live." A man who hides behind identity has already chosen decay. He becomes a statue of himself, solid, unchanging, but forgotten. A Stoic man doesn't say, "That's just who I am." He asks instead, "What can I refine today?" Because discipline is not staying the same. Discipline is choosing progress over pride. The second phrase, "I've done enough." It sounds like balance. It sounds like a man who knows his limits. But often, it is retreat, a quiet lowering of standards. Life will tempt you with this phrase the older you get. You will hear it in your head when you've worked long hours, when you've endured hardship, when you've achieved something respectable. You will say, "I've done enough." But what you really mean is, "I am tired of pushing." Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." The Stoic doesn't chase endless toil, but he refuses the comfort of mediocrity. "I've done enough" is the language of a man coasting into decay. A Stoic replaces it with, "I can go further with what I have." The third phrase, "Everyone's against me." This is the anthem of a victim. It sounds like explanation, but it is actually surrender. A man who repeats this believes the world conspires against him, that all odds are stacked, that nothing is his fault. And once that belief takes root, he stops acting. Epictetus taught that it is not events that disturb us, but our opinions about them. The man who says, "Everyone's against me," is not describing the world. He is revealing his own weakness. Marcus Aurelius faced betrayal, political intrigue, and enemies at every border. Yet he wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." The Stoic doesn't declare himself surrounded. He says instead, "Adversity sharpens me." Because resistance is not a wall. It is the grindstone of strength. The fourth phrase, "I don't care anymore." At first, it sounds like detachment, like someone who has transcended the chaos. But look deeper. Most often, it is exhaustion pretending to be wisdom. Men who mutter this line are not strong. They are burnt out. They've given up hope of influencing their lives, so they wrap their surrender in a cloak of indifference. The Stoics taught equanimity, but not apathy. Marcus Aurelius cared deeply about virtue, about duty, about living rightly. To say, "I don't care anymore," is to abandon the battlefield of life. A Stoic does not surrender in disguise. He says instead, "I care about what is mine to control. I release the rest." That is not apathy. That is clarity. The fifth phrase, "It's too late for me." Perhaps the most devastating sentence a man can utter, because it closes the door on growth before time itself has. Men whisper this when they've wasted years, when regret hangs heavy, when they believe the chance to rise has passed. But Stoicism dismantles this lie completely. Seneca wrote, "As long as you live, keep learning how to live." Epictetus became a philosopher after years in slavery. Marcus Aurelius led Rome while plagued with illness and betrayal in his later years. It is never too late to practice virtue, never too late to sharpen discipline, never too late to live rightly. The man who says, "It's too late for me," is digging his own grave early. The Stoic says instead, "While I breathe, I build." The sixth phrase, "That's not fair." It is seductive because it feels true. But fairness is not part of nature. Fortune distributes gifts without logic. Epictetus, born crippled and enslaved, never saw fairness. Marcus Aurelius ruled during plague and war, never tasting a fair reign. And yet they thrived, not because life was fair, but because they mastered their responses. To cry, "That's not fair," is to demand the universe obey your sense of balance. It never will. The Stoic doesn't waste time in outrage. He says instead, "This is reality. Now how will I meet it?" The seventh phrase, "I deserve better." At first it sounds like self-respect. In truth, it is entitlement. Men who repeat this line often expect more than they've earned. They want recognition without labor, results without sacrifice. Marcus Aurelius dismantled this illusion in one line. "Do not waste time wondering what a good man should be. Be one." Epictetus sharpened it further. First decide who you would be, then do what you must. Life owes you nothing. The Stoic doesn't declare what he deserves. He demonstrates it. The eighth phrase, "It is what it is." We've heard this one endlessly. Casual, shrugged. But in reality, it's a quiet death sentence. It signals learned helplessness. The moment a man believes nothing he does can change anything. Stoicism does not endorse this. Acceptance, yes. Capitulation, no. Marcus Aurelius urged himself to accept reality and then act within his control. A Stoic doesn't shrug. He examines, accepts, and responds. He doesn't mutter, "It is what it is." He says instead, "It is what it is. Now this is what I will do." The ninth phrase, "I don't have time." This one sounds rational. After all, life is busy. But beneath it, this phrase is nothing but misplaced priorities. Time is the only resource given equally to every man, and how you spend it is your truest confession. Seneca wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." A man who constantly says, "I don't have time," is simply revealing he has chosen other distractions. A Stoic does not excuse himself with false scarcity. He says instead, "If it matters, I will make time." And the 10th phrase, "That's not my problem." It is a cousin of "that's not my job," but sharper in its avoidance. It sounds like boundaries, but it is really retreat. The man who repeats this carves his life smaller and smaller until there is nothing left but himself. Marcus Aurelius asked, "What is your duty?" To be a good man. And a good man doesn't hide behind a checklist. He steps forward where others step back. The Stoic doesn't waste energy fixing what is not his to fix. But when responsibility calls, he doesn't mutter, "Not my problem." He answers. These 10 phrases are not harmless. They are corrosive. Spoken often enough, they dye the soul. They turn confidence into apathy, discipline into excuses, power into passivity. But nothing is final. Not if you confront it, not if you change it. Marcus Aurelius said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." So what color will yours be? If your words are small, your life shrinks. If your words are sharp, your character grows. A Stoic man does not waste breath on excuses. He speaks with clarity, with restraint, with intent. And when he is silent, that silence carries weight. If this message struck a nerve, good. That is where growth begins. Subscribe to the Inner Citadel, like this video, and in the comments declare, "I will act." Because strength doesn't start with muscle or fortune. It starts with words. And your words are either building your citadel or burning it down.